Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Starr Room. I'm your host, Empress Leah Starr. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Starr Room. Every guest shares a unique piece of the blueprint to a millionaire. My hope is that something shared today encourages you on your own journey. Today, I'm honored to welcome author, entrepreneur, commercial real estate broker, and number one international best-selling author, Ted Kopecko. After more than 30 years in business, Ted realized that many people achieve success but still feel disconnected from purpose. That realization inspired his book, Finding Joy, Journey of You, where he encourages people to move from living life led to joy led. Ted, welcome to the Starr Room.
Empress Leah, it's an honor to be here. And I got to tell you, I am so appreciative of your podcasts. They are awesome. I got to tell you, you could have wrote the book Finding Joy, Journey of You. But I am blessed to be here. The message is really clear. And the simple message is this: God gave us God gave us greatness in our life. We just need to dig down deep, connect the dots, put them together to find our purpose, to increase the value of our time, to become valuable in the process, to find ultimate freedom in our life. That is the secret success sauce of life. So I'm excited to be here, and I think we're going to have a great conversation.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Ted. We are going to have an amazing conversation. Ted, after more than 30 years in business and entrepreneurship, what made you realize that success alone doesn't always bring fulfillment?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit about my past history. I started life as a commercial architect. I had a very, very strong mom. She was an awesome woman. She inbred in me and my sister that we were not going to work as hard as my dad, and that we're going to get our own businesses. So with that upbringing, after I graduated from college, I said, "My gosh, I can't disappoint mom. I can't go work for somebody." So I started my own practice. Had that for about 16 years. We grew that up to about 20, 25 architects. Yeah, it was, honestly, very impressive when you talk about it, because we were doing hospital work. We were doing work for UCD Med Center up in the Sacramento area of California. We were doing a lot of shopping centers, a lot of large end distribution centers like for General Electric and Big O Tires and so forth. And so I had success, but I didn't have freedom. I was going to the office every day going, what's going to hit me that I wasn't expecting? What employees not showing up because of illness, and yet we have a time deadline that day to get the project done. So it got to be a certain point that even though I owned the business, I created my own job. Now I'm a big one for acronyms. I love acronyms. Finding Joy, my book, Finding Joy, Journey of You. The acronym for joy is Journey of You, Joy. And truly, our journey in life, our joy in life, is to find the journey that either was God given to us, but it's really to find the purpose that we were here on earth to do. Working your life away doesn't provide that. It provides a means to an end to pay the bills. But at the end of the day, it's not going to develop the purpose of why you're here. And so what happened to me was I just got to a certain point that, yeah, I was going through the motions, but I was emotionally not there. It was not what I wanted to do in my life. And so I sold my practice to a national firm, became a commercial broker, buy, sell buildings. That's my core business today. And what I do is I give a lot of value to small businesses trying to find their way to success. So I'll help them into small spaces and stuff like that. Well, through this, and I'm sure the same is true for you. I've talked to 1,000 people or more, and we all have the same desires, hopes, and dreams, no matter where you're from, whether you're from Europe, Africa, US, or any of South America or wherever. When I talk to people, it always comes down to one thing. We're all human beings in the same boat. We're here together. Take politics out of the whole thing. And what we find is all we're trying to do is enjoy the life we were given to increase our purpose, to give that to others, to find our freedom. So Finding Joy, Journey of You is really about finding your purpose, your value, and your freedom beyond that of a job, beyond that of working your life away. Most of us find ourselves in an orange apron working at Home Depot at age 65, right? God never told us that we had to go struggle our life away.
Right. That's right. And I think that's something many people can relate to because success, it looks different for everyone. One phrase that really stood out to me is life led versus joy led. Can you explain that a little bit deeper?
Oh, you
What that
bet.
means and how someone knows which one they're living?
Most of us are living life led. Most of us are living job led. And the story goes in much deeper than just a couple words. One of the things I always say is, are you living a job led life or a joy led life? One letter makes the world of difference between job and joy, right? One letter. The book starts off in terms, and every chapter is a journey chapter of some facet of our life. The very first facet of our life is mindset. And this will go back to your question. What were we calibrated early on in life? Because most of us today, we live a job-led, life-led life. We're reacting to life versus directing life. So we got to go right back to the beginning, right when you were born, the doctor held you up and he slapped you on the rear end, right? That was the first that was the first indication of life to us. Now, in a mindset, Carol DeWick, and if your listeners don't know her, please look her up. She's a professor over at Stanford University. She has done extensive research into mindset. And she basically says that you're either like a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Well, what we do is we dive deep into that and say, okay, well, where are we? And what the book actually talks about is we're kind of the bandwidth of mindset. We're neither really fixed nor growth. We're somewhere in between. Most of us lie left side of center towards fixed mindsets. Mm-hmm. We're still in our comfort zone. We don't like, it's an irony. We don't like the struggle we're in, but we'll accept the day as we spend it in a job. So most of us will say, you know something, and this is inbred from a very early age, from your school years, when you were in the classroom, you sat at a desk, you had a teacher. Present day, you have a boss tell you what to do, when you can go to lunch, when you can have recess, when you can have summer, right? And that training us, that was just not grade school. That went on for at least almost the first 18 years of your life. So when we're young adults, how do you think we're thinking? We're thinking literally like sheep. We're getting in line. We're doing what we're told to. Yes, and I respect the fact that we're responsible for our time. We're responsible for the bills at the end of the month. But what has transpired is we created a lifestyle that we can't get out of. We created a lifestyle of work, and we're working maybe out of trade school, or maybe college, or even high school. We find ourselves in maybe a relationship. We get married. Maybe we have a couple kids, a couple dogs. We get a couple cars. All of a sudden, our bills start mounting. And that little part-time job in college or high school turns out to a full-time profession, working every single day. And then what happens to us? We get busy. Busy is actually pretty evil. Busy does not create productivity. It keeps us on the fence of life, not moving us forward. So how do you cut the busyness from your life? How do you create a respite for yourself to say, is this where I want to go in my life? So Finding Joy Journey of You is based on 4 principles. And I think this has resonated with thousands of people, because that's, in one respect, that's it got to be a #1 international bestseller in motivational self-help, personal transformation, and self-esteem. How did it get there? Because we hit a nerve. This book, even though it's not a religious book per se, I'm Christian based, and it's all divine guidance in this. It's coming to a point to say, what's more important in our life that we were God given our time with? Either work it away at a job, or look at a greater purpose in our life, find that greater purpose in our life so that we can offer more to the world.
Definitely, definitely.
I
I
know I said a
love
lot there. I'm sorry.
that.
You wind me up, and I get excited about this.
I love that. I love that. Yes, because many people, they're so busy living that they rarely stop to ask themselves why. The routine, living in a box.
Yeah,
It's insanity.
yeah. Well, and we find ourselves in that way because of, and it's cyclic. You know, we have credit card debt of over 17 trillion in this country. So we have these automatic little banks in our wallets that we can pop out at any time, maybe do an impulsive buy here or there, and then all of a sudden we're working for Visa to pay off the bills. And it's structured so that it's really, unless you pay it off 100%, you never get to pay them off. And you're working your life away towards that end. To me, that's not how you want to live life. You want to have the freedom to be able to create more value in your life, to create freedom in your life. Now, people may look at that and go, well, how do you do that? Right? Well, very first thing is we have to, and this is going to sound weird, we have to stop thinking about money. Right? People that are struggling think about money all the time. People who are successful think about value all the time. It's completely different. Don't chase money, chase value. You see, your job will never ever get you, will never pay you for your value. It'll pay you to go do a service. And
Right.
you'll never be able to get out of that cycle. So Finding Joy, Journey of You gives the reader a respite in life. Hey, I've been doing this. I think my time is worth more than what my job is paying me. How do I get out of this? How do I get to another place? Well, first off, I want to tell you, it takes work. It's not easy, but what's harder, working your life away or creating a greater purpose in your life to create more value so you can create more freedom in your life?
Now, you talk about mindset, identity, and time shaping the life we create. Which of those do you think people struggle with the most and why?
Oh gosh, you named the three pillars of alignment of joy. One is mindset, one is identity, one is time. And let me just go through each one of those and I'll answer that question for you because it's extremely important. We already talked about mindset and how our cerebral hard drives were calibrated early in life. The apps that were downloaded in our when we were kids, right? That shaped our mindset today to create a high level of limiting beliefs in ourselves, right? I can't do this or I can't do that. Time, right? Every one of us have a time bank that we go to every single morning and withdraw so much time. And we spend that time every single day. We also have a time store where we sell our time, conversely, right? So the question here is, do you have a Dollar Tree store you're selling your time out of? Or do you have a Neiman Marcus that you're selling your time out of? Right? You have a Louis Vuitton store. The book goes in a lot of depth in this type of theory. It's really there to promote us to rethink about our time and our mindset. The other pillar is identity. You know, Empress Leah, you look awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And when I see you, your respect for your identity is extremely important. I mean, you're one of those pillars as a great example. Serena Williams, she has an identity, and it's called branding. Every one of us has this. So the simple question is, how do you greet the world? How does the world greet you? God gave us, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. That
God,
that that is a great perspective. I just wanted to say because changing one area can often change everything else. Most people feel stuck. Most people who may be watching may feel stuck in a job, a routine, or a season of life. What's the first step toward creating a life with more purpose and fulfillment?
yeah, we call that being life straighted. Life straighted. It's a word that the book makes up. Instead of frustration of life, we're life straighted in life. We get so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and that there's somewhere along the line of this journey, there's a switch that goes on. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's, and this is a big thing here, your friendships. Who do you associate with? What's your inner circle of friends? Jim Rome, you may know him. He's no longer with us, but just a great motivational speaker. He said, um, you are the sum of the five people you hang out with. And conversely, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So that switch that'll go off may come back and say, I don't like the group I'm hanging with. I'm tired. They're going nowhere. And I'm going with them. Right? So somewhere along the line, a switch goes off. Generally, hopefully, it's younger than later. Maybe it's in your 30s, where, and I think that's this where it really happens. In somewhere in the 30s, you say to yourself, do I want to keep working my life away? Or this group of people I'm with are going nowhere? Or what am I downloading to my cerebral hard drive every day? Am I listening to mindless reality TV programs because I want to escape? Am I watching dark media that will poison and be toxic in my brain? And one word it comes down to is respect. What is the respect you have for yourself? If you have more respect for the world than you do for yourself, then the world will give you the life that you haven't chosen.
Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people needed to hear that. And your book is called Finding Joy, Journey of You. What message do you hope readers carry with them long after they finished the final chapter?
What we're experiencing is people are changing their perspective on life. They're going, you're right. I do have greatness in you. Les Brown, I'm sure you know Les Brown. He's an amazing mentor of mine. I love the man to death. He is just brilliant. One of the things that he says is that you only work hard enough so they don't fire you, and they only pay you enough so you don't quit. Now, Les Brown talks about greatness in ourselves. And Finding Joy Journey of You has talks about a number of people. One is like Les Brown. Where did he come from? What's his destination today? Right? How did he get from here to there? Most of us don't think about that. We just live the life because we're busy. And if we just do the same thing today for tomorrow, okay, well, at least I got my bills paid. I'll deal with the struggle. That's not how to live life. Life is so much greater than that. So what the book tries to do is create a growth mindset, pull you from the fixed center left towards fixed mindset over to more of a growth mindset attitude, over to a level of respect that you have for yourself, for your time. How are you spending your time? Who are you spending your time with? And how are you selling your time?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or, like I said, are you a Neiman Marcus or a Dollar Tree? And it really comes back down to when a person recognizes that they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, enough is enough. Unfortunately, if they don't have the background of what the next step is, they'll be stuck in that atmosphere. So one of the things that we talk about in Finding Joy Journey of You, the cheapest way of education to pull yourself up, you don't have to take a bunch of courses to go find yourself or go read. There are some amazing books out there. John Maxwell, Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Jim Rome, Napoleon Hill. You have so many great authors out there that can start teaching you to grow in a different manner. You know, Elon Musk, he would probably be a good example of a growth mindset. I think we all agree with that, right? He looked at failure as not a setback, but a setup for success,
Mm-hmm.
right? He reads about 10 to 12 books a month. He's constantly enriching his cerebral hard drive. He's downloading apps that are going to promote him forward versus taking him back. And what I want readers to realize, their time is more valuable than they can ever dream. They're here on earth. They were here for a purpose. And I love the podcast name. God, it's me. That is so that is so important. And we talk about journey of faith in the book. You know, we get so wrapped up in our lives and so forth. There's a greater purpose for us. That greater purpose is to help others in their lives, to bring them up. Because I don't care where you're from, what country you're from, what packaging God put you in. You have the ability to be greater and to give yourself to others to raise their value, to help them along, to bring them forward, to have more of an enriched life in their how they're living. And if we all did that, think about how this world would be changed. It'd be absolutely amazing.
Yes. And I love when you said enough is enough. Okay. I love that because one idea can completely change the direction of someone's life. If someone's watching today, they feel successful on the outside, but empty on the inside, what would you want them to remember,
I
Ted?
want them to remember the word value and how it relates to job led, life led, or a joy led life. Which which one are they in? Are they being reactive to life or are they being intentional in life? Are they purpose driven or are they job driven? Are they being pressured by outside stimuluses or are they creating their own pathway? So it's really to raise it's really to elevate our mental capacity to know that we were meant for greater things. You know, if Finding Joy, Journey of You, it's on Amazon. It's also on Barnes and Noble. You can get it there, or you can go to the website called Finding Joy, www.findingjoy.us. I love the extension of it because it's findingjoy.us, right? And in there, you can get a free workbook. Now, this is a real book. I want to tell everybody. It took me over 3 years to write it, 400 pages. So don't let that scare you. If you want to change your life, it takes work, but you can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. To help you along, go to findingjoy.us. You can get a free workbook. It's a serious workbook. It's about 80 pages. So it's not something, that you can do in one night. It really challenges your mindset to start downloading a better app programs to yourself to change your life. So get the free workbook. If you complete the workbook, I will send you, Finding Joy Community will send you the Finding Joy diploma because you have successfully graduated into your journey. And we're here to help you along, just like Empress Leah also is. That's why I applaud your programs. It's the value you're giving to people is instrumental. The people you're touching is just amazing. And you and I don't know how many people we touch, That's why we say, come on, guys, we're here to help, right? We're here to help. Get to findingjoy.us. Join that joy community. Let's have some fun together while you're changing your life for the world.
Now, Ted, before we wrap up, I have one final question.
Oh no.
When when people look back on your life years from now, what do you hope they'll remember most about Ted Kopecko?
I hope that they remember that that I was a person that changed people's lives. You know, my basic purpose, and I found it through writing Finding Joy Journey of You, is to help others see a better pathway forward. So I guess what I want to do is elevate and enlighten and hopefully bring the world together in my little way.
I love that. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your heart with us today. Before we say goodbye, please tell everyone again where they can find your book, download your free workbook, and learn more about your work, Ted.
Awesome. And thank you for allowing me to do that. Again, everybody go to www.findingjoy.us, findingjoy.us. You can get the book there. You can also get the book at Amazon or Barnes and Noble. They'll ship it over to you, or any bookstore actually. They'll look it up and they'll order it for you. And then when you're on the website, go get your free download workbook. And like I said, I promise you, you finish that, you show me you finished it, and you will get a free diploma. And it's a beautiful diploma. You get it hanging up on your wall, and it's there as a reminder. It's in some respect, it's fun, but it's really there as a reminder. You've accomplished the next journey in your life, your next purpose. You're increasing your value. So go to those sites, pick it up, and I would love to meet you. If you want to direct message me, please do through the website, or I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. My last name is Kopecko, Kopecko. You can message me there, and let's change lives together.
Ted, thank you again for joining us. It has truly been a pleasure. And thank you to everyone watching. If please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need this message. I'm Empress Leah Starr. Keep building your blueprint to a millionaire. God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.